Welcome back to the studio. I'm Christy Hartman. Today is all about going deep into the blues. I'm doing a full-on gel printing long haul using only shades of blue with one of my new stencils from pmartiststudio, Indian Paintbrush Special. Only comes in the 9 by 12 inch size. It looks like this. Mine has been well loved. Using that long haul technique, I will be pulling prints and seeing how much magic we can get from one stencil and one color family. Monochromatic magic. But here's the twist. Once the printing is complete, I'll be finishing the prints with Perfect Pearls by Ranger and Pan Pastels. I will compare each media as it's used on the gel plate. I'll show you side-by-side results so you can decide which one you love more. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get messy in a beautiful pearly blue kind of way. Let's get started. As we begin our long haul, we are going to use the Golden Open using wet into wet paint techniques. We're going to use Payne's Gray, and we're going to use this Yacitoma sketch paper instead of the wet strength tissue paper. I find that this works really just as well as the wet strength. Now we're moving on to Prussian blue. Again, we are using the open, so we're using wet into wet techniques with the sketch paper. The sketch paper is actually a good alternative if you cannot find wet strength tissue paper. This is a little bit stronger, and I find that I like it just as well. However, I'm not sure, it might be a little bit more expensive. Now we're using the manganese blue, same techniques, same paint type. Manganese blue is a little bit of a wetter paint for whatever reason, and I found that this was just a little bit squishier as far as paint went. Now we're using phthalo blue, same techniques, same paper, turns out really well. Next, we're going to use the Aura Pearl Blue. This is a little bit heavier bodied than the Golden Open, and I think it pulled up some of the previous layers rather nicely. But I did find that this, maybe it was that I added more paint, I needed to do a second removal of paint onto my sketch paper to get a little bit more of this paint off. Alright, and we have this blue outline, which I think will be really lovely. We'll let this dry. We're going to use Forever Red in the Perfect Pearls and Pink Gumball to fill in some of this. I've used these Perfect Pearls enough now that I'm feeling pretty confident, and I've decided to compare them to the Pan Pastels. Now I realize that they are a different media to some degree, but they function very similar. And I want to do just an informal test to see how the two of them compare on the gel plate. These Perfect Pearls really are lovely, and they pull up really nicely. I think it's that added binder that the Perfect Pearls contain. But I'm very curious to see how they mix and blend compared with the Pan Pastels. Right now I'm using that Forever Red, and I'm going to go in with the pink, and I'm blending them, and they're blending beautifully. I think you can see that. I decided to fill in some of these negative spaces with this Forever Blue, and I like the way it's looking. We're going to continue filling in the floral areas with Forever Red. Let's use some of the pink. I just want to try tapping this off a little bit. Okay, let's do a blue one real quick, and then the rest of these I'm going to do off camera. Okay, I am going to do the rest of this off camera. So we're going to lay this down over the top of this, and we're going to add a layer of gold to this. Okay, let's pull this off. This is dry. We're going to use a new paint color for me, which is Jacquard. It's another Lumiere paint, and this is called Galaxy. It's number 538. It's very fluid, so these are very much a fluid acrylic. Like I said, this is very thin, it's very sheer. It's going to give a very thin, transparent look to the background. Let's use our favorite Pacon printmaking paper. I think we're going to add this pearl blue from Amsterdam and just put a glaze over the top of it. Let's pull it up. All in all, I think it's a fairly interesting print. This is long haul number 2 that we're going to use with the Pan Pastels. We're going to use the Lumiere paints for the bulk of this long haul, and we're starting out with the Lumiere Galaxy. This one that we're using right now is the Indigo. These, as I stated before, are a little bit more of a fluid acrylic, so they are a little bit juicier as far as paints go. This is the pearl blue. It also has airbrush medium that has been added to it, which gives it a little bit longer working time. But look at that shimmer and shine. I think that is spectacular, the way it's pulling up what's left on the stencil, which is the goal of a long haul. Next, we're using the pearl turquoise, which also has, nope, it has glazing medium in it, which I think is gorgeous. Notice how it's also pulling up some of what's left on the stencil. This next one is metallic olive. I thought that I should add a couple different colors to this long haul. Even though we were going monochromatic, I just thought that it would be an interesting addition. The next one we're going to use is the Halo Pink Gold, and it has airbrush medium added to it. Again, it just gives us a little bit longer working time, and I think it helps with pulling some of that additional stuff off the stencil. Now we're going to use the Aura Old Delft paint, and this is a little heavier bodied than the previous paints that we've used, and I think it will pull up very nicely. And as you can see, I thought that we needed to pull up a little bit more paint. Now we're going to pull our stencil off. As I was grabbing Pan Pastels to use on this one, I had a change of thought. I was going to use the reds and the orange and the pink that you saw in the first intro to this video, but I kind of decided that I wanted to try the metallics with one blue, and this is the phthalo blue shade. This is bronze, this is copper, and this is the gold. I just got these a while ago and I have not used them yet, so I thought, well, this would be the perfect chance. So I'm going to use a couple different blending tools because I don't want to have to worry about contaminating my metallics with the different colors that I'm using. So I got out 4 wands to use, one pointed one, and then these are the kind of oval shaped. They're oval with a little bit more of a point. So let's get started. I'll probably just fast forward through a lot of this because it's all pretty much self-explanatory. But I thought we would start with this blue and fill in some of the blue areas like we did on the last one. Let's go with this bronze. Okay, let's add some of the copper. And I'm not too worried if I'm going out of the lines a little bit. I don't think it's a big deal. These do blend very, very nicely. And honestly, I had some poofing with the Perfect Pearls, and I'm having some poofing with these too, so maybe it's just me. Yeah, these are blending really, really nicely. Just an FYI. Although the Perfect Pearls were blending too, they're just not quite as creamy. Let's try the gold. Let's turn it over. You're going to see a lot of glare, and I apologize, but that actually looks really nice. This is Aqueous Effervescence, which is one of my go-to stencils. If you watch my videos, you see me use this a lot. I'm very fond of it. Instead of the gold, I think we'll add this blue. And I'm just curious how this is going to turn out. So let's try it. You know, we can't have the same exact thing going on both prints. That would be boring. Okay, let's pull this off. I'm hoping that was a good decision. I'll be back when this is dry. I think we're going to do an ombre on this. I think we'll use Naples Yellow, this peach, which is flesh, and I think we'll use this magenta. And these are a very flat paint, very matte in appearance. So I think it will make our metallics show up really well. All right, that I think showed up really well, those lighter colors. Let's pull this print. Very interesting. I like that. You can still see the pan pastel. You can see the pattern in the background. Very nice. I like that. Now let's talk about cleaning this mess off the plate. This will not come off unless you use something. A baby wipe will only do a bit of it. You actually have to use either mineral oil or I use baby oil. But I like to take, first of all, as much off as I can. Here's my baby oil. It's not even name brand. It's just inexpensive. Put it on your plate. All right, now we're just going to use our baby wipe and we're going to rub this in. You could use your fingers. I just find that for me this works better. Keep working it until all that pan pastel comes up off your plate. So there I have cleaned off. There's still a little pan pastel on there, but it'll come off eventually. But I've also conditioned my plate, so I'll set it aside and let it be. Here are both of the prints that we completed today. Two very different prints, similar techniques, similar colors except for how they were pulled. I think the Perfect Pearls are outstanding. I feel that the Perfect Pearls versus the Pan Pastels, I don't know that I can choose one. I think they both have value. I think they both could easily be used in similar situations. What a ride through the blues. I hope you enjoyed this gel printing session. It's always amazing to see how much depth and variation you can get from just one stencil and a limited palette. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments, which one did you like better? Are you Team Perfect Pearls or Team Pan Pastels? Or are you like me and you like them both? If you enjoyed my video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more stencil play, gel printing, and all of the experiments to come. Until next time, stay creative, stay curious, and keep printing. I will see you in my next video.